Hey Anita, welcome to your Akashic Charm reading. Very excited to do this. I already cleared everything, set the space, opened everything. Everything's ready to go. And I was going to throw the charms, and I'm like, but she might want to experience that when they're called. So I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know why, but it felt important for you to actually be here for the charm throwing, the charm casting, the charm tossing. I don't know. I feel like I want a better word for that. But where the charm may the charms land in the most appropriate positionings. Very exciting. And then if they do fly off, as some of them did, I just rethrow them because they weren't meant to land yet. And there were three. Right, one, two. Yeah, okay. Perfect. Okay. I'm very excited. I wish, I'll send you a picture, then you can see it, okay? Well, you will have already seen the picture. But yeah, all of yours are quite widespread. There are a few that are touching multiple, and so that's always extra juicy. Um, hmm. For some reason, I'm being guided to mention this. I tapped into whether or not it would be a beneficial thing to have it mean something if they land upside down or front side up, because some of them are both sides, like the dragonfly, it's both sides, or the dragonfly wings rather, it's both sides, and the pentacle, it's both sides, they're the same. However, one, because of that, but two, overcomplication. So we're not going to treat this like a tarot card or something where if it's reversed, we're not doing that. So I just wanted to let you know that in case you noticed, because when I send you the picture, you'll see that some of them are upside down. So I also added, you didn't end up getting this, but I also added one more. Ooh, my right ear is, or my left ear. I can tell my right from my left. All of a sudden my left ear was kicking in. What was I saying? Oh, you didn't end up landing in either of these spots, but I added two more, well, one more symbol, two more spots today because I saw something and I was like, I don't have that symbol. I need that symbol. So one thing I'm gonna do is just blatantly tell you where the things landed. And in doing so, I'm also gonna write it down because it's one thing for me to look at the symbols. It's another for me to have it all written down and looking at it. So, you know what? I'm going to tell you where everything landed, and then I'm going to pause this and write it down so you don't have to wait on me to write because I'm a little bit of a slower writer, just which I'm fine with. I'm just saying. So, I'm just going to read it left to right. You have the magic wand that, and hang on, let me also bring up my notes here because I don't want to say something incorrectly. Okay, great. And I'll tell you, just like, actually, no, they're telling me not to do that. So the magic wand landed on a book or the book. The pentacle is touching one, two, three. It's touching three. Or it's in three, I should say, and it's touching the lines of a couple other ones, and I'm getting that it doesn't quite go in those. So it's the ones that it's actually in. The pentacle is in the pumpkin, the wolf that's howling at the moon, that the moon is not pictured, but it's a wolf. And it's like, woo. And the little ghosty. The dragonfly wings are like basically perfectly center on the moon. The moon is on two of them, the salt bath and the cauldron. The key, it's right on the line of the cauldron, but the key is in the tree. Um, Funny enough, the positioning, it's actually, I made a little, so I made a tree, but then I made a little like hole in it. So it's like, like an owl hole, or it could be like the eye, like Arnold. And the key, like lock, is positioning right up into that part of the tree. So that's really intriguing. The heart is on two. Hmm. It's on the zombie and it's on the tree, which I find to be fascinating. The dragon is right smack dab in the middle of the bat, like the bat, not a bat. The sun is on both the pumpkin and the seedling, and the star is on the ghosty. What I find to be interesting is you have multiple that are in multiple of the same symbol, just on the other side. So the pumpkin that I have, it each symbol is repeated twice. That way there's like, what I was guided to is that some of them are gonna have a difference. So like this spider web is gonna have, they both have the same like foundational meaning, but this spider web means something just a little bit different than this spider web, just for example. Um, so that is a part of it. But excuse me, I'm not seeing that all of them do that. So it's just very intriguing because you've got the pentacle that is in the pumpkin on the left, and you've got the sun that's in the pumpkin on the right. And then you've got the star that's on the ghosty on the right, and the pentacle that's on the ghosty on the left. I'm just seeing if there's any other interesting things. I mean, it's all interesting. Oh, and I didn't see this earlier. The magic wand is a little bit on the wolf howling at the moon, the same one that the pentacle is in. So it's very intriguing. I'm gonna go ahead and pause so I can write it down. All right, I'm gonna turn my light on. Oh, sorry. I didn't want to just blast it. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how bright it would be. I didn't want it just to come back where it was like all of a sudden super bright and like shock you. Anyway, I did say this would be spooky. Anyway, I have everything written down, and so just a basic note flow so I can talk about this easier. One thing I wanted to note that seemed important when I said magic wand, I looked back at my initial notes and I have fairy wand written, so whichever one feels better. Or both, you can do both. Magic fairy wand. Okay, anyway. So, as I was saying, the magic fairy wand landed on the book, but also on the Wolfie. And what I find to be interesting about that, so the fairy wand, the intentions with that is the magic, like the thing that I heard when I was channeling the information is wave your magic wand and boop. Bip, and then bippity boppity boo. Inner child, childlike wonder, mystical, magical. And so it's like the theme of the wand. And that landing on the book and the wolf is very interesting because the book is, learning. It could be representative of the Akashic records, diving deeper into the Akash, diving deeper into your own gifts, your talents, your skills, the things that, like learning the things that light your fire, like learning yourself. There's a lot of different things that you are learning on a consistent basis. And this is highlighting that while also bringing in the raising your voice piece. Oh, excuse me. Because the wolf is about, it's howling at the moon. It's raising its voice. And with it howling at the moon, there's also bringing in the meanings of the moon a little bit there, which is the emotional state, the element of water, that cleansing ritual that can bring through. And so you've got this magic in the learning, the magic in the being human, the magic in raising your voice and speaking your truth and owning your voice. And then they want me to combine that into the pentacle because it's right there next to it. It's combined with the wolf, the ghost, and the pumpkin. And so the pumpkin is all about the harvest. The wolf. The ghost is about your ancestors and loved ones that are wanting to communicate with you. And so tying that in, you are, one thing that I'm hearing is some of this is active and it's more that you can like go into. So we haven't really talked a whole lot about ancestors, so I'm not sure if you regularly do any ancestral work or if it's just kind of like here and there, or if maybe not a whole lot of, I don't know. But something later on, where was it? Um, in the heart, and I'm just getting to bring this up now because I was talking about it. In the heart, which is on the other side, it's in the zombie and the tree, which I'll dive into deeper once I get to that point. But the zombie is about past lives. And so you've got your ancestors coming through and you've got this past life connection a little bit further into the reading. So just kind of highlighting that and foreshadowing a little bit. But bringing in this learning into the raising the voice, into the harvest with the pumpkin, and into the relationship with your ancestors and loved ones and communication, which is so funny because when I was mapping this out, I would tune in. I'd be like, okay, where's this symbol going? Where does this one go? Yada, yada, yada. And I just find it hilarious that the wolf and the ghost are next to each other. And it's only on this side, because on the other side, they're not. But I also had the same thing. That I don't think it wasn't the pentacle. It was something else. I don't remember what it was, but actually, I could look. Um, Mine was the dragonfly in the wolf and the ghosty. But anyway, so what is all of this saying at this point? This point, it's talking about the magic that you'll find as you dive deeper into those communications, learning in that raising of the voice piece, as well as tapping into the connections, having that communication with your ancestors, whether that's giving yourself a session, whether that's, having a session with someone else, whatever it is. Maybe you have Amy's ancestor course, Maybe it's about going back into the course and playing with something about that. I'm seeing all of these as options for you, and all of them have various alignments. So it's not like it could be this, it could be that. These are all true, and it's just a matter of what aligns with you the most and isn't overwhelming. Um, and it's also talking about how some of this is and are things that you're doing. So, reflect on that too, because it could already be something that you're tapping into, and it's just highlighting the magic of that. I'm seeing that as yes, and as in it is happening, but it's also, and maybe you don't even know it's happening. Maybe it's in your dream state or something, but there's also something more magical about it being more so intentional. They want me to move to the dragonfly, which was dead center of the moon. Well, maybe not dead center, but it's center of the moon. It's hard to find a center when they're all like wobbly. They're not straight lines. So the dragonfly is on the moon, and the moon is emotions and the water element and everything. Relative to the cyclic nature that the moon brings in. I can't remember if we've talked about this or not, but they just reminded me. the radiant realignments that I do monthly with the full moons, that's what that's about. It's about tapping into everything that's coming up at that time to be released and let go, and then also inviting in what's wanting to flourish. Um, and in that, and they're just wanting me to kind of like bring all of this into it, in that process, in that being in tune with the cycles of nature, which is going to show up later because you landed in the tree too. Um, oh yeah, I got to go back to that. I reminded myself. Uh, um, the hang on, I reminded myself of that thing. So now where was I going with this? The there we go. The dragonfly wings, they're about flying to or away, and I'll tap into that specifically for you. But freedom and transformation. So, okay, the way it's facing, that's so interesting. So sometimes the way the charm lands is important too, because if it was facing the other way, it would indicate the past or the feminine. But it's flying toward the right. And even though it's on a very feminine thing, like the moon, there's still masculine. That's part of that. And because everything is balance, So with that, what emotions are you holding on to that are ready to be let go? What emotions are you wanting to fly into that may catapult you? And what I find to be interesting about that is typically we don't go necessarily like seeking for an emotion other than like relief or something, because if we're not feeling well, generally speaking, we don't like that. So we'll, attempt to rectify that in some way, just because it doesn't necessarily feel safe. And so what is this bringing up for you? And what I'm being guided to say at this point too is remember the things that we talked about at the retreat about drawing and pictures and things like that, and really reflect on what it feels like to look at the picture of your reading. Like really what's coming up for you as you look at it. What can you draw in response to, some of the things that are coming forward, whether it be just from you looking at it or from this reading itself. I wanted to go back because I forgot to say this part with the pentacle. The pentacle is the 5 elements. So it's the 5 cornered star inside of the circle. That's what the pentacle is. The pentagram is the star, the pentacle is the circle, or with the star with the circle. And so it's about the elements, the 5 elements, how they could be more or better utilized in your life. It could also be a little bit of a reality check in regard to the elements representing the 3D, the earthly experience. It's also about, it's all coming together. Community and abundance. And so there's a lot of different things that the pentacle ended up meaning. And so how this is translating in by the way, you're of course getting your own things as I'm talking about this. So pay attention to those things too. I know you do, but I just felt like I needed to say it. The raise your voice piece. But how are the elements a part of your harvest? How are they a part of you raising your voice? How are they a part of you connecting in with your ancestral connections? Maybe that is, again, tying back into the heart piece, being on the zombie in the tree, ironically. It's just too perfect. But about connecting through nature to your ancestors. And I was just reminded, and I set this intention when I was setting the space about your request to, gain some clarity around some more fun and energizing things that you can do to, facilitate your energy, utilization, expenditure, experience, all of that. So it's not so draining and things like that. So rely on nature to help you. And I don't mean rely as in dependency, but rely on it, utilizing it like the tool that it can be used as. And not, I always don't, I have issue. I find it might just be me, but I feel like I have issue with calling something a tool because of some of the slang around what that means. And so, and that's why I like the word utilize more than use, kind of because of the connotation that can come with that, like somebody being used or something like that, and not a positive way. And so utilization just feels a lot more judgment free. But tool, I haven't really found anything to represent tool other than actually I haven't thought of anything. So so if you have another word for it, great. But anyway, utilizing nature as the tool it can be, the connection that it can be. And so a part of, like, I know you love to go we were talking about mantras and you're saying how you like to walk, and having that movement can really help facilitate a lot of different things as well within the energies. And so when you're outside, yes, you're innately tapping into nature. Yes, you probably have some sort of, I don't know if ritual is the right word, but you have some intention behind what you're doing. And they want you to, the guardians want you to look more at your intention. Is it as intentional as you actually want it to be or think it is? Because there's something about reframing, rewiring some of that that's important for you. I just saw like wires moving. um, they were in kind of a jumbled mess. And nature helps to straighten the wires, and not straight like stick straight, but like straight as in they aren't tangled. As in, oh, my head just did a really weird thing in my ears. Um, it, it was like my left ear like numbed out for a second, and then my right ear started not blaring, but it start, just like that. Not the same as when it rings. It was a little bit different. It was like, oh, sorry about that. Oh, I don't know. You might not have even heard it. I meant to turn my phone down. I don't know. It just did a weird, like, higher, not super high pitch, but high-ish pitch, like, it was really weird. And it just felt weird. So we were on the right path there. But how, and now my left eye, oh my God, my body. Oh, sorry. All of a sudden, my vision in my left eye was super blurry. Okay, what does all of that mean? So the left is shutting off. The left is shutting down. There's things like my ear numbed, my vision blurred in my left side. So feminine something. Ancestral connections within the feminine line are feeling triggered. They're feeling triggered about raising their voice and the harvesting the growth, harvesting the overgrowth. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So they just showed me what happens. What happens when a field is overgrown? What happens? And I'm specifically like seeing a cornfield. Um, but what happens when it goes unmanaged, when it goes uncared for, unnurtured? Just sense, feel, imagine that. That's what's coming forward. That was a part of what all of the tangling was, because I need both hands. It's the corn stalks, them being tall and all of that. Some of them grow really, really high. Some of them become like diseased. And it's not just the corn stalks, because if the field goes unmanaged, oh, excuse me, burp for confirmation, there's a lot of different other things that come in to grow as well. There's the weeds, the tall grasses, the offshoots of corn. So you've got, this old decaying corn that replants itself. And so you've got a whole like mismatched mess of a field. And not only do you have all of that, you have all of the infestation of the different bugs, the different plant life, or well, yes, the plant life, but the animal life that's coming in. And later on at some point you have animal life coming in too. So this is really intriguing. Actually, they want me to mention that. Of course, I didn't put it down so I could read it. Oh no. Oh no. Timber. I really need to organize this over here. Um, there we go. Just needed to move one thing because it was timbering. The bat. The dragon is in the bat. So it's both animals, animal kingdom, animal spirits. So they are a part of this too, which is just so interesting because even though they're not next to each other, they still bounce off of each other. So you've got this field with all this stuff, all of these different creatures, these insects, these animals. Some of it's nice for some of the animals because now they have a habitat that they like. But the thing is just because it creates some good for some parts, it's still your field to tend, still your energy to tend. And there are some infiltrations that are clogging your energy, maybe siphoning some of your energy. I got confirmation on that. And so that's a big part of your focus that you wanted to bring through. How can you, be more playful in some of these things? How can you um, feel more energized? And basically what I'm also seeing in that is clearing the clutter. So it's just again affirming that visual. And so how can you balance your elements and your elemental connections? And I just saw the fairies, so the fairy wand is wanting to come in here too. How can you and your inner child, in a fun and magical way, work with your ancestors, work with nature, and clear that field? And it's not that you even need to, okay, let me say it this way. Yes, and it gets to be cleared. It gets to be, tended to. The diseased parts get to be healed. The overgrowth gets to be tamed. I don't know, tamed isn't the right word. It gets to be tended to. It gets to be tended to. Which that may have been the same phrase that I said earlier. I don't remember. But anyway, so what are some fun, magical ways that you can move through all of this? One, I don't know if you have any of these materials, but you can go outside and you can even involve your kids in this if that's something that works for you. But there's something important about you going outside, inviting your inner child forward, and just playing. What does play look like? Play looks like dancing under a tree. It looks like taking a coloring book outside and coloring. It also looks like going outside and singing or chanting. So, yes, you are doing that a bit with the mantra, but there's something even more fun that you can do with that. I'm seeing your mala. Okay, this might sound stupid. But what I saw is you doing the mantras, using your mala, and after every 10, so after every 10, take your mala, and you may or may not actually want to do this, depending on how fragile your mala is. I just saw you swinging it. So, do I have anything that can, oh, I do have this. Um, so this is a string of shungite beads. It's not very bright, so it might not be, so I'll fold it just so it's a little bit easier to manage and see. So you've got your mala in your hand. You keep, just say, sense, feel, imagine, this is the 10th one. You've got it in your grasp so you don't lose it. And you literally, it's literally just, I am seeing 5. So 5 swings, whether it's above your head or in front of you, you just literally like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's, that's what they showed me. So I'm going to just stick by that. And it has especially something to do with the I don't give a fucks. Um, because interesting. Okay. Malas, crystals, they're generally sacred, and with sacred things, we tend to be more gentle and more reverent. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, for you and your inner child, for some reason, it is important to throw all of that out the window and toss your beads around. They're reminding me that I'm actually not wearing any crystal. Well, I put this on because it's my wedding finger, so that is just kind of whatever. But it's the only crystal I'm actually wearing right now. I know, I was giving them a break. But anywho, one of the things that I do, if I can grab some bracelets here, when I'm cleansing my bracelets, I just do a quick intention setting most of the time. And I've got them in my hand like this, and I literally kind of toss them like this. Like I'm literally shaking out the condensed denser energies. And I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm like doing this. And as I do that, the beads do this and they twist and yeah. So I'm not sure why all of that's important for you, but maybe it's the thing you need. Who am I to judge? I'm not judging, to be fair. Who am I to say? And they just reminded me too. There was one other thing about the magic wand that wanted to come through, but I guess now is the perfect time for it. A part of the wand, the handle part, is outside of the pumpkin. And at first, I didn't think that meant anything, but then I was corrected. And when I was writing it down, the guardians told me to write a little asterisk there. Also outside of the pumpkin, thinking outside of the box. And you know what? If what I just said is an outside of the box, I don't know what is. And it's not even that crazy, but it's just weird. It's just a something, not something that I would ever think of is really what I mean. So yeah, and then other things that you can do. Okay, tap into your inner child here. What did you do when you played outside as a kid? If that was something that was a norm for you. I keep seeing mud pies. Um, like playing in the mud, playing in the dirt, getting dirty. And I was just reminded of a reading session, whatever, that we did a long time ago, where I was talking about the wild Anita. This is a part of you accessing her. Oh, this is interesting. What I just saw is a connection, a correlation between the elements that are within your pentacle, also connecting into your primal instincts, your very primal essence. Oh, this feels good. Okay. So there is something it's so important for you about you letting go of some of your critical thinking, critical mind, the prefrontal cortex while you are outside, while you are communing with nature, whatever that is, with or without your kids. There's something important about you setting this part of your brain down and connecting back into your more primal senses. And I'm not saying you need to go like, I don't know why, but it's not like you need to go like hunting or something like that. If you want to, then that's fine. But what I'm getting at is allowing your primal femininity to have space outside in nature. There's a book, they just showed me this book. I feel so bad because I got this book a while ago. Amy actually recommended it, and I haven't had time to even open it and look at it, but I just saw it to show you. Women's Power to Heal Through Inner Medicine. And if you need like a picture of this, just let me know. I got it on Amazon. Maya Tawari, Maya, last name Tiwari. It's a bunch of rituals. Basically, it's a bunch of ways that you can show up for yourself in more ritualistic type ways. So that itself, there you go. Okay, so those are some big things. They want me to move on back to the, now that I've unveiled that, tying that into the moon and your dragonfly. So this transformation, this flying to the right side, the masculine, the letting go. There's some emotions, and those emotions are wrapped up in everything we just talked about, that are ready to navigate out, that are ready to move on. And in doing so, you're also inviting space for that newness, the elevated Anita, so to speak. And elevated Anita does not always mean more, let me say it this way. Elevated Anita does not mean that she abandons the wild Anita. The wild Anita is actually a part of the elevated Anita. So there's that. The moon charm, because I realize there's a moon symbol and a moon charm. So, but the moon symbol or charm, apologies, the moon charm is emotional healing, presence. Stop running away from this and face it. And it landed on the salt bath and the cauldron. Salt bath is about rest and relaxation. I felt like I needed to say it like that. The cauldron is about cooking something up and spell work, and it doesn't have to be spell work like witch work, but it's spell work as in like when you make a soup, your what's the word? It's making soup is witchcraft because it's technically, creating, you're putting stuff. So let's get rid of the weird connotations that are a part of that. Just saw the wolf. So raising your voice about what that actually is within yourself and allowing the internal aspects of you to relax around it needing to mean something more than it actually is. Because sometimes the inner self is wanting to put these labels and things on it to feel, I'm seeing a few different things, to feel important, to feel edgy, to maybe like serve some sort of personification of something just walked through this left side here. What was that? Oh, it was Archangel Michael. Thanks. So he's a part of that too, because we were just talking about the masculine. So, um, cauldron spell work. There's something important too about having a chat with your internal selves, especially the inner children, but it's ego. A lot of it's ego about labels. And I'm not saying that you yourself are operating in this, but there are aspects that are tied to, again, that self-importance around having a particular label. And I'm seeing that this is somehow tying into our conversations around that the manipulation sales tactics and stuff. It's ego, but ego is shattered. Ego is there, but ego is protecting something, and it has been a blind spot. Because what I'm seeing is that there's a shadow behind your ego. Woo, they didn't like that. They did not like to be revealed. So we're going to give them peace. Sacred container until you are ready to handle whatever that is, so that they don't freak out about being noticed. So, I think that's why Michael walked in. He was already here, but yeah. So thank you. Appreciate you. He's like, I'm just gonna step over here. That was weird. I've never had that happen before. But so the salt bath is representative of the relaxation, allowing yourself to rest and rest in a way that is serving, not in a way that is I just got kind of dizzy on my right side. In a way that isn't like demeaning. And what I mean by that, because like it came in and I was like, oh, what is that? There is this masculine energy. I'm seeing it's tied to what we were just talking about, the hush hush. There's this masculine energy around performance. Okay, that's kind of obvious, but diving deeper into that, again, whew, they are really communicating through my body on this one. Okay, the masculine, the salt baths. There's big resistance to allowing yourself to truly rest and not be productive in some way, shape, or form. Okay, never mind. I got huge chills. When you were talking about the mantra, going outside for a walk, and you felt resistance to doing that because it didn't feel productive, but then you're also like, but it is productive because it's moving your body, it's accomplishing the thing that that's a part of your practice, all of these things. So there's productivity wrapped up in it, even if you don't necessarily feel that. And a part of the illusion there is that it's not productive. To be fair, anything we do, even in the not doing, is productive. But it's how you actually feel about that. It's how you actually think about that. And so, where is it aligned to feel productive? And where is it aligned to set down the productivity aspect of whatever that is? So, I'm just seeing resistance to all of this. Confirmation burp. 2. And almost short of breath. Like it feels like it's harder to breathe. So just gonna bring some grounding into this, Mama Gaia. Chest feels kind of heavy, stomach feels weird. Bringing in authentic Kuan Yin for her gentleness, her compassion, her grace. She's radiating her beautiful pink and green energies throughout your body, throughout your chest and stomach, and whatever else feels aligned to receive this gentleness. Deep breaths. Okay. She's gonna hang out. She's gonna hang out. Um, so how does this relate to this is cooking something up? So I've started to feel it a little bit, but I heard hot flash. And so what do we do when we're cooking something up? There's heat. How are you heating up this this connection? How is that? So I'm seeing heat and salt bath working together. So in the salt bath, oh, in the salt bath, you can cook stuff up. Okay, so while you're not necessarily going to be bringing that idea of productivity to your salt bath because it's about rest and relaxation, what happens when you let go and allow yourself and surrender to actually allowing that relaxation, that rest to come in? Productivity comes through, creation comes through. You're going to, in these moments, receive downloads. Um, do you have the Ascend course? I don't remember if we've talked about it or not. Um, I was just reminded of what I mean, I haven't finished it. I may be halfway done. I don't know. But anyway, I connect with the goddesses, but I kind of go back and forth. I'm more like I love the goddesses, don't get me wrong. Um, and I generally connect more with the archangels and the angels, the angelic realm, um, and different, of course, beings. But um, the goddesses have some really potent magic, and I still love them and I utilize them too. It's just not as much as the angelics. But anyway, my point with all of that is I'll try not to spoil anything in case you haven't taken the course. The Each goddess in the course has an activation meditation, and it's like a half hour. I will always have always had a bath. Like I would go have a salt bath with some crystals while I'm listening to the activation, meditation, attunement, whatever it is. If you've listened to them, you probably know why, and I don't want to spoil it in case, but it feels so good to do that at that time, and I'm seeing you doing that. It doesn't have to be with the Ascend course or any of those meditations if you don't feel aligned with that, but there's something so beautiful about you just being in that space and allowing yourself to rest. And it doesn't have to be a salt bath, but I am seeing that as being important for you. If that feels good. And there's ways to also, because salt baths in winter might not be the best for everyone's skin. There are things that you can do to support that as well, like different essential oil blends and things that are safe to rub on your body, or if you have creams or things that you already like to use, that can be great. I will say I'm seeing it more supportive being an oil than a cream, because what they're showing me is that the cream being more bulky and likely having more ingredients is going to maybe not be the best thing for your skin. If it is, and if it feels great, then just ignore this. But there's something about it kind of clogging up some of the pores that are wanting to be more free, which is hilarious because it's not like oil isn't going to also, do similar things. But there's a lightness, which is weird to say about oil. There's more of a lightness with the oil. It's not a physical lightness, it's an energetic lightness, whereas the cream, like what they're comparing it to, ironically, and this doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's like when you're cooking and you're using oil to help the fluidity of something, and it in and like the process of cooking it, which we're going back to the cauldron now with that. It's heating it up. It's helping it to process. It's helping it to move forward in whatever direction is that we're wanting it to go, like cooking it so that we can eat it. Whereas lotion, for some reason, is being compared to dairy. It cools things down. It makes things more solid. It can create more of a thickness. I'm just saying the things they're telling me to say. Okay. So so there's all of that. Um and then that's also tying into the fun things that you can, help yourself with energetically. Like there's fun things that you can do in the bath. Um, whether that literally is just being in the bath, like that in itself is fun. Or it can be fun if you feel that way too. But there's things you can listen to, you could read, you could just whatever it is that really supports you in a positive way that allows you to actually rest and relax at that time. So we're moving into the key, and the key is at the tree. The tree is all about adventure, um, healing, and nature. So we're tying nature back in, which does not surprise me. Um, yes, I did. Okay, I was just making sure I talked about that. So the key, something is or wants to be unlocked and opened and accessed. Confirmation. I don't know why I'm burping so much. Okay, that was a stupid thing to say. It's all confirmation because I just burped again. Okay, so the key. We're unlocking adventure. We're unlocking healing. We're unlocking nature. So everything we've been talking about has directly been a part of this as well. And so with the key being here, this is indicating that everything that we've talked about thus far, and another reason why I'm reading this like left to right, and then they just told me it's not always going to be that way. So, but the key, like everything that we've been talking about, the key is unlocking more gifts, more skills, more talents, and even more ways for your energy to flow in a way that is supporting you. I forgot about that. Yawned for confirmation. Oh. So yesterday, bring it down. If I can lean back, that would be just so much better for my back. So yesterday, some of my mess is showing. Yesterday, I saw this advertisement for, I don't even know what exactly it was for. It was some sort of energy modality. They didn't really go into specifics, but it was, I remember it was a Mind Valley thing. Um, and this it was talking about this person who was in a lot of like not great stuff. Like they were just in a not good like job situation. They weren't happy, blah 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 blah. Overwhelmed, overworked, burnt out, all the things. So we didn't see that at first though. That was just the story that ended up coming in afterwards. But anyway, what we were shown initially is this woman who is never burnt out, whose energy is always flowing. She can just do session after session after session after session and be fine. She's completely booked solid with a waiting list of like 40 people or something, and everything just looks like it comes easy to her. And before she did whatever this method was, she wasn't in that space. You know, she was in the very like not great space. And so the ad was just talking about this energy modality that just magically fixes everything. And so you can see my skepticism. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying that I was just showing the book again on your thing. And what they're saying is you can go into your Akashic records and you don't need to know the process. All you need to do is go to your guardians and ask them or affirm with them, thank you for upgrading my energetic system so that I can be more capable of X, Y, and Z. Go into your healing chamber. I'm seeing you laying on the bed, sitting on the chair, having the lamp, and then you also have way more things that are wanting to come in to assist you, and you may have already unlocked some of them, going back to the tree and unlocking with that key. And they're just showing me again all these trees in nature. Okay, it's about, okay, yeah, it's wrapping back into everything we were talking about earlier too. I don't know where your healing chamber is, and so you might want to make or activate another one if this isn't where you're at with it, because this is what I'm seeing. They showed me my healing chamber. My healing chamber is outside in nature, and it's always been that way. I don't have rooms for my healing chamber. It's outside. Some of the things are inside of trees. Like I have it's open field, or not fields, it's open hills. It's very hilly in the beginning of it. And as I walk through some things, there's this forest, there's this fairy space, there's this meadow, you know, there's lots of different elements outside, and there's oh, they just showed me some stuff. Oh, yay. I didn't see that part before. Anyway, so even in your heart space and your healing chamber, there's nature in there that wants to be unlocked and opened. So in there, yes, go outside, do all the things we said before, but also there's something important about you accessing the nature within yourself, within your energetic space, within your healing chamber specifically. If that's not, you know, your setup at this time, there's a door that's wanting to be opened. It's ready. You, okay, they told me I could, okay, just making sure. Told me I could lift it up. For some reason, they want you to see the key. This is the key. Here's the key to open your chamber. Oh yeah, and then I talked about how it was just like that. Perfect. Okay. I put it exactly where it was. So, and what does that mean? That means you doing those things, but then also bringing your inner child in, all of your bodies, but especially your inner child, into your healing chamber. I'm hearing one at a time. And then eventually maybe all of them can come in, but at first it just needs to be one at a time. That way you can really focus on them. That way they can get their individualized attention and connection. And so you are both going to be in your healing chamber, healing together. And it's not just the main six bodies. You have other personas, other parts of you that are wanting to be a part of this as well, and will very much benefit. I'm actually seeing your dragon. I don't know if you know who your dragon is yet, but there's a dragon that's yours. Well, okay, sorry, I shouldn't say yours, but your connected dragon. And you may find, oh, no, they said no. Okay, never mind. I was going to say something about what I found with my dragons, but they said no, not yet. And that might be that it's not a thing or that it's not ready to be unlocked yet or even mentioned. So no seeds planted on that one. But yeah, you going into your heart space, into your healing chamber, into your nature aspect of healing chamber and playing. The great thing about those energetic realms is we truly can do whatever the fuck we want. And so there's, okay, I just saw you in your healing chamber doing your mantras. So you walking around in your outside nature healing chamber, talking about your mantras, doing your mantras. Um, it's not even just the mantras. There's other stuff too. Like I'm just seeing you and your inner child climbing these trees. Um, Getting really small and climbing a flower. There's this game. It's a video game. It's called Grounded. There's two of them out, Grounded 1 and Grounded 2. I have not played Grounded 1, but I have played Grounded 2, and it's fascinating. Um, you basically, the way that this happens isn't great, but you get shrunk down and you are outside in a backyard or at a park or something, and you're surviving. Now, you don't need to do all of that, but the game, or even maybe watching somebody play the game, there might be something in that for you. One of the things that I've found to be amazing, and I already knew this, but that it was confirmed through another Akashic person that I love. Oh my gosh, I swear she's like I just resonate so much with her. She's like a future person. She's a future me. She's like, how do I say that? She's someone I want to be. Like be me, but be me and her. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. She's just magic. Oh my gosh. In case you're curious, her name is on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I don't know if I follow her on Instagram. I should if I don't. Anyway, her name is Magic with Sage. Her name is not actually Sage, but she had it changed. Uh, Sage Gwendolyn, I believe. She's just so amazing. Ugh, God, the second you see her, you'll know exactly why. But anyway, I've always loved anime. I just have. I love anime, I love video games, things like that. And as I was doing more and more on the spiritual journey, would recognize that, like movies, like other things, there's messages for me in the anime, especially the anime, because there's so much magic in a lot of the anime. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And the more anime I watch, the more I realize and recognize my gifts because it's adventure. That's why I love D&D so much because it's that adventure. It's that play. It's allowing yourself to be a kid again because so many of us weren't really allowed to truly embrace being a kid. We had to grow up so quickly, especially like 90s and 80s and 90s, or I'm sure pre 2000s. And I'm sure after 2000s, they've experienced a lot too. But I'm just saying what I'm familiar with, which is pre 2000s. Sometimes we're allowed to be a kid. Sometimes we're allowed to go play. Yes, I played a lot as a kid. But the thing is I wasn't allowed to actually be a kid when I was in the house. Like, yeah, I played in the house. But what I mean by that is the dynamic, the emotional connection, the way that, my parents projected, the way that they relied on me to be their emotional whatever. Not, I don't know if that resonates with you at all, because I don't think we've actually, oh, well, no, we have talked a bit. Now I do remember there were some things with your mom. So there's that. Um, but when we're in that space, in that healing space, in you and your healing chamber in nature, all of that, you can do anything. Ask your inner child to be the leader of exploring your nature healing chamber. Give them full reign. And, you can, you know, balance that as needed, but give them opportunities to lead the charge and do whatever it is they want. I literally just saw Peter Pan when the boys are with the Lost Boys, or like Wendy's brothers. I can't remember, John and Peter. No, no, Peter is Peter Pan. John and I don't remember, but anyway, when the boys are playing, they separated from Peter and Wendy because they went to the mermaids and stuff. When they're following the leader, the leader, the leader in that field, like that's what they just showed me. um And so playing with that, allowing your inner child to play follow the leader, and she, he, they, whatever, get to be the leader. Intriguing. And I am very curious to see how all of this develops for you. So we are then going into, thought it was going to be the heart, but I'm wrong. The dragon, which is on the bat, which is bringing in the animal kingdom and the animal spirits. They want to play too. And so when you are doing all of this in your healing heart space, bring in the animals, allow these different animal spirit guides and spirit beings, spiritual beings to play and defy the laws of nature. Not all the time, but some of the time. Defy the laws of nature. The dolphin can be in the field with you. The unicorn. We're bringing in animals from all spaces. It does not have to be an animal that's here on Earth that we are aware of. There are tons and tons of different animals that are wanting to work with you, and even your inner child too. And so allow your inner child to maybe invite an animal or two or whatever, however many, to join you. I just saw, man, they're just loading me with the movies today. Encanto. It's a Disney movie. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but one of the rooms that the kids have is like this huge jungle. And so if you haven't seen Encanto, which I figure you probably have because you have kids, and by the way, I love Encanto. But if you haven't seen it recently, rewatch it at least for that part where they're in his room and in the jungle and just running around playing, and then asking your inner child how they feel about that. My voice just got kind of weird. So this is definitely triggering something within your voice, which I find very interesting. Your inner child doesn't feel like they have a voice all the time, or at least has had experiences where they don't feel like they've had a voice. And so allowing them to do this, to be that leader, is a part of you giving them their voice back, which is giving you your voice back. I'm sorry, that just felt great. Yeah, and so again, the animals, that one's kind of somewhat obvious just because of it being the animal kingdom. But one thing I'll say is, oh, that's intriguing. I have two animals on here and they're different animals. This is the only thing that has different symbols for the same thing, because I saw a black cat and a black bat when I was making it. And so I was like, okay, one's going to be a cat, one's going to be a bat. The dragon with wings went to the bat with wings. And so where are you flying? Where are you soaring to? Don't feel like you have to stay contained within that smaller space of the nature healing chamber. Allow your nature healing chamber to be huge and have different different types of nature spaces, like I was saying, where there's woods, there are forests, there's a meadow, there's the river with, oh, I didn't say this earlier, but there's a river with a waterfall, there's all these different elements of nature, and then allow yourself to go into the sky too. What does the sky have to offer you? What do the clouds represent? What do you see in the clouds? How are you and your inner child playing in the clouds? Maybe the clouds become more solid and become a space of their own. One of the things that I channeled for somebody once is a um and for some reason this is coming in just to mention, they crystal order, they got this little white jade um pendant thing to attach to one of their jewelry pieces, and as I touched it, this thing like washed over me where there's this white jade castle in the sky, and it's in the clouds. And so there's crazy stuff like that you can explore too. So allow yourself to play. These are things you can do in the tub. Oh my gosh, when you're having your salt bath, this is exactly what you can do. Oh man, I'm so excited for you, and this is great for me too. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm gleaning a lot from this, so thank you. Um, okay, they're wanting us to go to the, wait. Oh, I forgot about that part. Okay, we'll go to the heart. So the heart landed on the tree and the zombie. Tree again, adventure, healing, in nature. The zombie is that past lives resurfacing piece that I talked about earlier. And the heart, lots of love experienced or wanted here. And so bringing all that together, your past lives are very much coming to the surface to feel more love, to be in that love. Um, And with it also landing on the tree, you're bringing that love to the adventure, love to the healing, love to nature, and vice versa, allowing nature to love you back, allowing adventure to love you back, allowing healing to love you back, allowing these past lives to love you back. It's an exchange. And it's not like a transaction. It's just that energetic bliss when you are open to giving and receiving all at the same time, and allowing someone else or the other thing, whatever that is, to also be in that energy of freely giving, freely receiving, because there's magic in all of it. And so past lives thing. And what I find to be also interesting is right next to it is a ghost. So funny. We've got on the other side the ghost next to the wolf, all about raising your voice and then harvest. And then over here we've got the heart in the zombie right next to the ghost with the star in it. And the star is all about where did you go? There it is. The things that I got. Wish upon a shooting star. Star quality. You're a star at this thing, known or unknown. Abundance incoming, hidden talent or gift. And gift. And so you've got the star, which has landed in your ancestors again, that ancestral connection, the loved one's connection. These aspects are in the stars, and connecting in with your love right there with that zombie with these past lives. The love is there too. The star quality, the shining brighter as you navigate these things, as you clear these things. And so I'm just the bath thing again, but I'm seeing you in the bath, and not detailed, but I'm seeing you in the bath as you are diving into these connections as well. And so, there's you got to take a lot of baths. Like, I'm kidding, but also I'm not, because like again, I just seeing you do that so much. And it might even be like you just being in a pool or a river or something, like I don't know what you got around you. I know you're in Florida, but that's about all I got. So, and it's gonna be cold soon, so there's that too. But um bringing that love, that acceptance, that allowance, and something about non-judgment, because I just saw your ego in that shadow again. There's something about judging that process. I'm not getting specifics on that because we're not doing the work that that shadow is wanting to bring forward. I'm just kind of identifying it. It's a little trickster guy, I think. That's what it feels like. He's kind of tricky. Because he's in the sacred container, so he can't do anything. But then I just saw two heads pop up, so I'm just like, okay. um, I'm hearing you're gonna do that. I mean, we can do that in session if you want, because you do have another session. But I'm also seeing you taking your ego into the healing chamber, and because your ego is attached to that thing, or I should say that thing is attached to your ego, things are gonna unravel as you do that. So there's that too. It might be both and. Yeah. And of course, talking to your mentor about this too. Whatever comes up to talk to him about. Okay, now we're going to the sun. So the sun is both in the seedling and the pumpkin. And I did not realize this when I crafted this, but I just realized it now, like as I was writing down your stuff. The seedling, some of these symbols are like, well, duh. The seedling is about planting seeds, and the pumpkin is harvest. And the sun shining light on this thing. Did I write anything else? Shine brightly onto, shine the light onto X, whatever, X equals whatever. The sun is more so in the harvest than the seedling, but it's almost like half. I would say it's maybe like 60-40. Girl, you planting those seeds. I just saw you and your inner child planting a garden in your healing space. Interesting. And I see, okay, fun. I'm seeing not only you and your inner child doing that, but you in each of your bodies. And so when you go through that process where you're taking each body into your healing chamber one at a time, and then you go into the nature aspect of your healing chamber, you're starting a garden with your inner child. Or you can do it on your own if you want. I'm seeing it being either way, but your inner child would really like to be a part of it. Okay, I'm literally seeing it three ways, and it's just whatever way you want to do it. And one way is kind of contradicting something I said, but it's specific to this confirmation birth. So you can go in and start the garden, till the soil, do that. You and your inner child can do it, or you and all of your inner bodies, whichever ones you're wanting to bring in, start the garden. You don't plant anything, you just start the garden. And you don't do any like intentional healing, you're just starting that garden. And if it feels good to invite everyone, that way everyone's a part of the beginning of it, then that's why that came through, because that feels best for what I am tapping into, but it may be different for you. So, but yeah, there's no intentional healing with everyone there immediately. You can, start the garden, just create it. You're not planting anything. That feels important to say again. You're just starting the garden. You're laying the foundation for the garden, and that's a part of why it feels good for everyone to be there. But again, you do whatever feels best. With that though, you could all like, after you're done, you could all like hold hands and do like a quick meditation or something if that's what you want to do. But the important thing is to not do like a deep healing right off the bat, unless for whatever reason it comes up to be done, because by the time you do this, it could be very different energy than what I'm tapping into. So there's that. And then when you go in with your inner child plants something. When you go in with you, like say you do your ego next, your ego plants something, then your mental body, then your spiritual body, blah, 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 blah. Each body is going to plant something in that garden. And you yourself, it's important for you to plant something in the garden too, because you are representative of the whole. Like, and yeah. So there's that. And then anything or anyone else that it feels appropriate to do that with, like maybe some of the spirit animals, you want them to plant something, or be a part of it somehow. I just saw some of them helping with manure if you want it. I saw the poop happen. So anyway, um, again, going back to this, the shining the light on the seeds you're planting and the harvest. Well, for one thing, sunlight is one of the best things for that process. Yes, you need water. So again, tapping into all the elements and balancing those elements. But then shining the light on, and this just feels so good, shining the light on your planting the seeds, your harvest, and what all of that means. It's about, part of this is about giving yourself more credit for your journey, for your choices along the journey, for your devotion, for your determination, for your just gorgeous attitude, gorgeous energy about all of this, your authenticity, your pure magic, just really allowing yourself to feel that, to allow yourself to feel how amazing you are. Like okay, well, this is coming in for like your first salt bath after all of this. They want you to hold space for at least 10 minutes. Actually, no, they're saying 11 minutes where and you can set a timer if you need to, but I would say to keep it like kind of low on the volume. That way, if it feels good to stay there, you just keep staying there. You don't need to leave at 11 minutes, but they're saying at least 11 minutes where you are in that energy, where you allow yourself to just be in that gratitude for yourself, for how amazing you are, for your light, bringing your soul, you can bring in any love and light beings that you want to, any aspects of you that you want to. It's just again about you being in that space. And actually it would be really beautiful if you did invite everybody, again, love and light beings that are aligned to be there, because there's something magical in all of it, because they're a part of it too. You are the representation of the whole, and they are a lot of the parts that make up the whole. So don't be afraid to bring in shadow spot or shadow aspects, um if they can, contain themselves. If it feels like that's aligned. It is aligned, and we want to make sure that the space is still held in a reverent way and doesn't have like distractions and stuff. Because what I'm seeing is some of the shadows won't respect it. And you could put them in a sacred container so that they can't be heard or anything. And they're but I don't know if you want to like force aspects to be in a particular high vibrational energy in that way. So again, that's entirely up to you how you handle that. If that feels good to you to kind of just put them in that space so that they can feel that, then that's great. And it could be really triggering and almost jarring for those aspects, which are aspects of you, which would then trigger things in your life. And that may or may not be the way that you want to handle that. So just saying all of that. Um, so everything that we have talked about has led up to this seedling and harvest, planting the seeds and the harvest. Everything you've done up to this point has been representative of that as well, but also this reading as a whole. As you do these things, as you show up for yourself in these ways, You are planting the seeds that will create the harvest. And that field, oh, I just got chills on the left side. That field that we talked about in the beginning with the pentacle, it's that field. It's you healing that field, doing all the things to clear it out, blah, 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 and then replanting. That's what the garden is. Oh my God, that's what the garden is in your nature heart space. Oh, the pieces are coming together. And that's the pentacle coming together. Everything is coming together. Okay, I am just blown away by these charm readings. I'm not gonna lie. Like the one I gave myself was nice, but this, if this is what they're like, I'm very excited. So, sorry. I needed to do that for myself for a second. Um, yeah, that pretty much just sums it up. And that sun was really the card. It's representative of the tarot card. Sun, which it wasn't my intention, but that's what's coming through now at this time for you, is because if it feels appropriate, I'm gonna pull an oracle card. Well, actually, fuck it. Where's my trees? There they are. I'm not gonna do a whole shebang. I swear if dance comes up, I'm gonna poop. Not actually, but like kind of. God for Anita. Charm a little bit, so it's coming back. Okay, it's not dance, but it's perfect. Actually, now that I think about it, dance might not have fit very well anyway. Just like my favorite card in the deck for lots of reasons, but I love all of them, of course, because this is, and I opened up right to it. Today is the 15th. It's number 15. October 15th. I can open the book because, I got to. Your changing thoughts are changing your life. Align your awareness and energy with thoughts that lift you. I mean, that's appropriate. This is probably going to be kind of dark, so apologies. Oh, okay, not bad, not bad. Keeper of nurture. I mean, I like block out some of that light so it's not glaring. There we go. Okay, you can kind of see some of it. I'm just going to do some of the card at a time. It's a tree with, look at her. She's gorgeous. That's you. That's you in the tree. You are the keeper of nurture. Mm. I want to cry now. Like legit. Hmm. And I know, so she looks like she might be pregnant, but she's not. She's holding what looks to be like a fruit with like an acorn inside of it. So it's almost like a tree stump with fruit or with a acorn. And all of the red things were butterflies, by the way, if it wasn't clear. I'll send a picture of this too. Keeper of nurture. Every tree keeper knows there are times to blossom, to share your flowers and fruit with the world. Then there are times to withdraw energies in order to protect and nurture. This is one of those times. The creative project you're incubating, that new idea, relationship, or vision you're harboring, protect it like a rare seed that needs to be held tenderly in order to grow into a sapling. Sorry, the relation. If you are attempting to rebirth your life, by the way, there was a lot of frogs coming in. I meant to mention that earlier. And frogs are rebirth. If you are attempting to rebirth your life, rising into the flowering of a new version of yourself, be especially gentle. It's time to trust yourself to be the incubator. Be extremely cautious with whom you share right now. This is a delicate matter, and only those worthy of being respectful should share your space. And I just talked about respectful darkness, the shadows. Oh my gosh. Oh no, I gotta keep that out so I don't forget. So yeah, I got nothing else to add. I don't think. Excuse me. Um, for some reason I keep seeing these. I mean they're right here, but I have these Malacolas from Amy. They're green and blue. It's chrysocolla and malachite. It's wanting to come through to support you. It's bringing in the earth and the water, the just the very nature elements of that. Um, the fire is the cauldron. So the earth, water, air. Air is the howling at the moon, the wolf. Oh, and of course, you know, you're breathing in and out for that. And then the ether is that relaxation piece. And part of what the card was bringing up, you know, that coming back into yourself, that incubation process. It's the creation process. It's you allowing yourself to be in that space, because that's the ether. That's where things blossom from. It's the seedling becoming the pumpkin, which leads to the harvest. It's all of that and so much more. And wow, this feels like a lot. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I really do. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you gleaned a lot from this, and I hope that I answered your questions, um, you know, about everything, the clarifications, the focus that you had. I hope that this serves you. And I hope that something else. I hope you and your inner child have a lot of fun. You and all of your bodies have a lot of fun. I hope you really are able to and have the capacity for taking the time, making the time to do these things, because they are really going to serve you. I know you might even feel that they're going to serve you, but it's so much bigger than even what you're feeling at this time. Like there's just so much that is in the unknown of this. Like the key being on the tree, you're unlocking things with all of this. That a wild Anita gets to be unlocked, and the wild Anita is very much a part of you that has been building up since especially since we started working together, but even before that. Um, yeah, this is chef's kiss. But if you did enjoy, I would really love and appreciate if you wouldn't mind just writing up a testimonial about this so that I can share it um, with others, you know, who may be a little unsure of what this even is. I would so appreciate that. So yeah. But again, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and that you show up for you, because you deserve to show up for you. Right? I love you.